It is incredibly humbling to be here. It's a great honor to have the opportunity to chat with all of you for the next 30 minutes. What we're going to do is we're going to tie together some of the themes, the messages you've been hearing from the really amazing speakers this morning, with some of how we're thinking back in Mountain View, how we think at the product and engineering level about how to leverage the transformations that we're seeing and make this easier for our friends in the space, the marketers, the advertisers, the merchants, the retailers of the world. As you heard, I'm Jonathan Alferness. I now lead up our shopping and commerce efforts on the product side. But the last 3 or 4 years, I was focused squarely on the mobile space. On the display side of things, looking at mobile apps and everything that we needed to do there to improve advertising, monetization, et cetera. And before that, I had the fortunate opportunity to work on search ads at Google for about 5 or 6 years. The vantage point that this has given me has been an incredible one because I've been able to witness what mobile has done, certainly through my own personal experience. I live in San Francisco. I have 2 young kids, and myself and my wife use mobile and digital connections for everything. But also to watch how mobile has really transformed the nature of business and how all of our partners, our marketers, and our friends have really been adapting to this. We think about this extremely diligently at Google, and we try to really we try to get ahead of the trends and build the technologies that will really help all of you in your day-to-day. Eileen and others mentioned this morning, and you think about it, if you think of your own life, I think you see this more and more, but we're living our lives online, and that's been a truth, I'd say, for easily the last 10 years. But mobile has really changed the way that we live our lives online. We don't sit down in front of a desktop or laptop computer anymore with 10, 15, 30 minutes, an hour to spend to do research, to try to figure out what the new washer and dryer is that we want to buy, and later transact on that same machine. Quite the opposite, all of this digital technology and mobile has made us even more busy. We run around in our daily lives and we pull these devices out of our pocket when we have a spare moment. When we have a tiny slice of time while we're waiting at the cafe for our double espresso, or we're waiting in Heathrow for our flight to take off. And oftentimes those slices of time get interrupted. You start doing something, but then you have to stop. You're forced to, in my life, it's get back to my kids who have decided that they want to fight with each other, and I need to put away my mobile phone. So what's happening in this online world is that we're actually consuming and spending more time online as humanity, but we're doing it through thinner and thinner slices of time that we think about as these micro moments. And it all really does add up. Right? Mobile is not taking away from desktop. It is certainly disrupting, but importantly, it is additive. And now across all of our devices, we see that continued intensity with intent. People come to Google, they search day in and day out, and we're now at the 100 billion mark. We see 100 billion queries on Google every month. And this next stat shouldn't surprise you either, right? Mobile is overtaking desktop. Again, it's not necessarily taking away from desktop, but it is growing at such a phenomenal rate. And we've been watching this trend with a lot of intensity at Google. And I remember when we first hit the tipping point of 50% of our queries coming from mobile. Of course, it happened in Japan first, but it was followed very, very quickly by the US and the UK. And now we see this trend in 10 countries. If you're not in one of these 10 countries, it doesn't mean you get a pass. It just means you get to see the future of what's going to happen in your market within the next months, if not years. Mobile presents new paradigms. It presents new user interfaces. We need to think differently about how to interact with mobile. And my God, even as somebody who's worked with computers and technology ever since I was essentially 5 years old, I hate typing on these things. And I know I'll be nowhere near as good as typing on these things as a 10 or a 12-year-old is today. But if you look at the advancements in voice recognition in speech, this stat shouldn't surprise you either, right? More and more people are talking to their phone. And the crazy thing is that it works. And we had this incredible opportunity to hear a little bit from Demis, who leads up our DeepMind artificial intelligence efforts at Google. And you really understand how much intensity, how much research and effort's being put into this problem, and it's paying off. And that's causing paradigm shifts, people talking to their phone. The last stat, just to get us started and get us thinking about the rest of this talk, is that online, mobile, and digital otherwise are huge influencers. Over half the people in the UK rely on online research to make a purchase. So all of this leads us to a very important question, which is, are you there? As a user pulls out her mobile phone and she wants to know where the nearest H&M store is to pick up this dress that she just saw online, are you there to present her with the answer to the question that she's asked? At Google, we're working incredibly hard to build products, platforms, tools, and technology to make sure that it's as easy as possible for all of you to be there in the moments that matter. And today, I'm going to talk about 3 categories of moments that are absolutely essential to think about and understand if you're anywhere in the marketing or the commerce space. And we see these by analyzing our data, looking at the search queries, looking at our logs. There is the I want to know moments. Oftentimes you have a question. This is what Google has become famous for. No longer can you go to a dinner party and be the trivia expert because everybody else has Google in their pocket and they can one-up you. But in these I want to know moments, are we and are you presenting the right information to the user in a digestible, chunkable way that they can get that information and move on? Because remember, it's a thin slice of time. And then one of the things that has always been so exciting about mobile to me that I find I use all the time because I get the wonderful opportunity to travel this globe are the I want to go moments. I just did it when I was here with my family a couple of weeks ago, but we would set up days where we knew that we were going to the Museum of Natural History or the Tower of London or any of the variety of places we'd go to, and with 2 young kids, inevitably, they get hungry. So I would search for places around me, nearby, etc., where can we find something good to eat? And I tell you, we did really well, but those restaurants that weren't engaged in these I want to go moments, I never stepped foot in. And last are the I want to buy moments. How can we help to influence, to provide the right details, research, etc., to really enable consumers to buy when they want, to buy the right thing, and to make those transactions as easy as possible? So on the I want to know side of things, again, this is where Google has really made its name. We provide our goal, our mission statement really is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. On mobile, we've noticed a fairly dramatic paradigm shift. Screen real estate is extremely tight and therefore expensive. On desktop, you had all of the screen real estate in the world, but interactions on desktop were a little bit clunky. You had this mouse, you had to move around, click things, scroll, etc. On mobile, screen real estate is extraordinarily expensive. You have to be very, very thoughtful and careful with what you use. But interactions, surprisingly enough, interactions are cheap because the phone sits here and we swipe, we click, we flick, we scroll. We've been thinking about this an awful lot when it comes to our search results pages. And we've been thinking about how we optimize these search results pages to really provide answers when users need to know. So let's take the first example here, which comes by way of a mobile voice search. And these are real-life examples that we've seen in our logs. In this case, imagine a user says, "OK, Google, show me running shoes." We present a search results page that looks like the following. She's looking for running shoes, so the top result that I should present is a list of what we think are the best running shoes out there. These are shopping ads that you see at the top. And shopping ads have become one of the preferred ways for merchants and retailers to really connect with consumers that have the intent to purchase their products. And you can see the basics are up there, the brand, the website, the price. But we've had to be careful. We battle almost with our organic search friends down below for how much screen real estate we can take up. And my friends on the organic search side, Amit and his team, say, well, you don't know that the user really wants to buy these shoes. Maybe we should present other information. So we have to be careful about how we use this very, very minimal real estate on the page. But when the user swipes now on the shopping ads at the top, what we're doing is we're dynamically expanding the content of those shopping ads so that we can then fill in additional context and information. Maybe how far away the merchant is, maybe additional details about it, tax, shipping rates, etc. The intent was shown to me now through an interaction, so I feel justified in taking up more of that screen real estate to display more information for what this user needs. The next type of query or result that we've been working hard at are for very, very specific queries. And this might seem strange, but we get queries all the way down to the specific color of the product that a user is looking for. And in fact, these type of specific queries represent about 15% of all of the shopping or product traffic that we get. And in this case, it's a lot of fun because the intent is really there. If you type in pink Fitbit Flex, I should really be focused on showing you details for this particular product. And you see it here. These are what we call product cards. And we've taken up almost all of the screen real estate, but we can go even further. Right now, we're showing details about it, one of the places you can buy, price, high-level review information. But as our user scrolls down, she sees additional information, more stores that she can purchase the product in, including some which are not only local to her, but we know they actually stock and keep this product in stock. As she continues to scroll down, she'll see details about the particular product, fascinating things like how to charge it or does it have a 3-axis accelerometer. And then down at the bottom, the detailed product reviews that come from consumers around the web. Reviews are one of the biggest influencers that we see in overall shopping decisions online. So all of this presents a very, very valuable, rich set of information to our consumer when she asks an I want to know question. People are also using Google to help them navigate the physical world. And we are seeing an increasing number of words like near me, closest, and nearby in our queries. The right answers for those kind of queries have to involve physical locations. And this is something that we've been working on at Google for a long time. It's still early days. We have a lot more to do. But you see why in this next stat. Since 2011 alone, we've seen a 34-fold increase in the number of near-me mobile searches. This doubled in the last year alone. And again, this shouldn't be a surprise. Almost all of these queries are coming from mobile devices. Over 80% of these queries come from mobile devices. Users are on the go. And they want to finish a task on their to-do list. So they ask Google, I want to go to a place where I can do X or I can buy Y. For me, it's I want to go to a restaurant that's nearby that'll work for my kids and has good food. Last year, we introduced local inventory ads. The idea here is to really leverage the mobile device as the bridge between the digital and physical world and help consumers find the product that they're looking for in a local store. This stat, sadly enough, I guess doesn't surprise me because it describes my own behavior, right? When I know what I want to buy, I'm kind of an instant gratification freak. I want to know, once I know where I can buy it, plus or minus 5–10% price, how can I get it the fastest? And if that's next day air through some online merchant, wonderful. If I have to drive 20–30 miles, as long as they have it in stock, no problem at all. And we see this with consumers around the globe. 1 in 4 simply avoids going to the stores for fear that the product isn't in stock. Local inventory ads help our retailers and our merchants marry their product inventory in individual stores with our system so that when we show the user results, we can be confident that we know the location of the store, the distance from the user, and the availability. And what's fun is as the user clicks through on this result, what we show is a Google-hosted, but merchant-branded storefront. In this case, it's an example for John Lewis, and you see the Fitbit tracker there, but we can provide additional information about John Lewis's stores, the map of the nearest store that has this in stock, but it also operates as a way for consumers to browse the physical shelves of John Lewis 24/7. You can actually search on products that they have in their stores to figure out if that's in stock as well. Still early days here, but our merchants, our retailers, our advertisers have really, really engaged with this product because it does what we've always promised. It actually brings users into their stores to transact. Sears has leveraged this to a phenomenal extent. They can drive 5 times as much foot traffic into their stores using our local inventory ad solutions as they were ever able to get from TV. Now, a lot of folks have mentioned the future of where all of this takes us. And I think Google Now is probably the best example that Google has to offer consumers today. Google Now, for those of you who don't know, is aiming to be your personal digital assistant of sorts. We want to help you with tasks throughout your day based on the context that we know about you. Right? Where are you? What's your physical location? What's the weather around you? Time of day? We can also leverage information about your preferences. What brands do you like? What shops and stores do you tend to frequent? And we can also take information from your calendar. So we can do really wonderful, simple, but magical things that I'm sure all of you have experienced, like, oh crap, you have a speaking engagement at 11:45 and you're still in your hotel at 11:10, you better get your butt down there soon because traffic is backing up. I use Google Now on a daily basis to let me know how early I need to leave San Francisco to make it the measly 25 miles down to Mountain View, which can often take me an hour and a half in a commute. And if you think about it, the opportunity is endless for marketers, for retailers, for merchants. And as we've typically done at Google, we're not sort of opening the floodgates of Google Now for advertising tomorrow, but we're being thoughtful about how we can provide and present the right opportunities to the right users at the right time. So one of the first efforts that we're doing in this space is around in-store cards. So I know, based on your physical location, that you're either in or nearby a particular retailer. And I can provide you information about that retailer, things like hours, store sales, loyalty programs, even indoor maps. It's information at your fingertips that leverages the serendipity of where you are and what we know about these businesses. So last, I want to spend a few minutes on the I want to buy moments. These are the moments in time right before a user transacts where they're trying to do a little bit more research so that they lead themselves down that purchase path. One of the really remarkable places, actually before I get there, it's important to understand the role that mobile plays in this path to purchase. Again, they're always in our back pockets, and we're itching to take them out anytime we have a spare moment. I got to thank all of you for all the faces and the eyeballs I'm seeing, because I know you're itching to do the same thing, because there's email building up or there's something else you want to do on your mobile phone. We'll give you a break coming up. 93% of people who research that product on their mobile phone still shows you that mobile provides some friction, because if you're willing to do the research on your mobile phone, chances are you're going to go on and buy this product. One of the really fascinating places that we're seeing research happen is on YouTube, and in video in particular. You know, being 40 years old and sort of missing this generation of consumption of video online, I'm sure I'll see it with my kids. This is something that I had to actually look at the data to believe, but it's phenomenal. There's now over 1 million YouTube channels with product review videos. And now that I know this is here, this is like the first place that I go to learn about a new product. I sit down and I watch some person gets the product, they open the box, they take it out, and they talk you all through what the product does. What a great way to learn about these products. Views of these types of videos have grown 50% year over year. Users are engaging and consuming more and more of it. But you get to the end of the product review video, and then you go, okay, great, I want that product. Now let me figure out how to buy it. Seems kind of silly, especially on a device like mobile, where then I've got to go open another app or another web page, search, find the product, and go transact. So we've been building a new type of ads experience here, one that we call TrueView for shopping. It's the first of these efforts where we marry the product feeds that our merchants provide us along with the campaign data that they have in AdWords, and we find relevant videos, largely product review videos with your product in it. And then we do a couple of things. We show opportunities to click through to buy the product in cards now below the video. And at the end of the video, you see an end cap that allows you to do the same. It's just the beginning, but it goes to show why not marry these two. If the user is there and doing the research at that moment in time, that's the best place to connect with the user and finish that transaction. A little bit off topic for shopping, but very pertinent to my old world in mobile and mobile apps. Eileen touched on it, so I wanted to make sure to comment on it here, is the efforts that we've undertaken to leverage the Play Store and search in Google Play so that we can provide our marketers with an opportunity to intercept those moments that matter as well. The first step here is introducing app install ads to the Google Play Store. This is something that we announced at I/O a few weeks back and is in response to many, many requests for this, and leverages all of the great strengths and all of the knowledge that we've learned from marrying search ads with web search in the first place. It's phenomenal because of the number of searches that we see on the Play Store. These searches drive about 50% of all installs. And yet it's been a place that marketers have had no real voice outside of their branded landing page. So this is still ramping up right now, but it's something that we're very, very excited about at Google, because as we see Google Play continue to evolve through additional types of digital content, you understand how important these moments also become. All of these moments are critical. And your engagement with consumers and users at these moments are what you need to think about to keep your brands, your businesses alive in what is becoming an increasingly complex cross-device micro-moment world. But without tools, without measurement, you're not going to know how to spend your dollars, and you're not going to be convinced that this is a world worth participating in. Even more, if we look at the fragmented user journey, the path to transactions, this is what I got to talk about in year one of being the mobile guy, and it was really fun to get out there. I mean, it was a simple observation that transactions are no longer simple. They're not happening on the same device that you start this journey, but users are weaving paths through a myriad of different devices to complete a single transaction. And if you're not able to identify those different points, if you're not able to really follow that path and know where you intercepted and the value that you added, you're not going to know where to spend, you're not going to know how to intercept in the beginning. This behavior is phenomenally common. You all do it day in and day out. I do it like every task you do. Even think about emails or instant messages that you're about to send. Hell, half of my emails, I stop writing on my mobile phone because I get distracted, I get pulled away. I finish it on a desktop phone later. How many people pull out the drafts sort of folder in your favorite mail client only to discover that you had 3 emails that you started writing on mobile that you never finished, and you think, oh shit, I never sent that stuff. 90% of tasks, of conversions happen in this way. So for literally the last 4 years, we've been focused on delivering cross-device conversion technology as a core part of all of our ad systems. And this has grown considerably more sophisticated over my tenure in mobile, so that we now can track online cross-device conversions. You start on desktop, you start on mobile, you start on tablet, you finish on another one of the devices. You know what's also fascinating? The number of people who start a transaction on one browser on one device finish on another browser on the same device. Right? Again, a form of measurement that often wasn't measured in the past that we can now measure as well. So online, cross-device, in-store. How often did your ads, your results, lead a consumer actually into your physical store? We're obviously marrying this with work like our local inventory ads to really provide a compelling solution to those brick-and-mortar retailers. In-app, right? You heard the stat, 30 hours a week. Users are spending more and more time in-app. We don't deny that. We're bringing our products and services to apps. We have to bring measurement to apps. This is something that we just announced and we're really excited about. So if you start a transaction on a desktop website, and you finish it in an app at some day later, we can actually measure the value that the advertising on the desktop side played in that mobile app conversion. And the last is phone. I'm sure a lot of you are aware that our click-to-call product is extremely popular. The idea is that if you do a search for maybe a hotel room in London, you get numbers that you can just call on your mobile phone. You click a button, you're put in touch with their call center, and you can book your room there. So now we're able to tie conversions that happen as a result of these calls getting established back into this context as well. All of this is put under the umbrella of estimated total conversions. The idea here is that we want to show marketers, all of you, the full value that mobile provides. Because if you look at mobile in a silo, you're not going to see it. You're going to miss it completely. Our friends at Zando leveraged our cross-device conversion technology, specifically looking at the value that mobile gave them from a cross-device perspective. This is important because we're out telling everybody about this, and it's informing the ways that people should bid and place budgets against their mobile inventory. So via estimated total conversions, Zalando saw that there was a more than 25% increase in overall conversions thanks to their spend on mobile. So as a result of that, they increased their bids to better compete, to get more leads, to get more consumers, because they knew it was driving them real value. The reason I say this is important, if Zalando gets that, if they raise their bids, that's something that all of you need to think about as well to be competitive in this space. So I've taken up about all of my time. If you walk away with nothing else from my talk, think about these journeys. Think about these moments. Think about the path to purchase and how all of you are set up to better participate in that ecosystem. If you can take away a little bit more, I want you to remember the I want to know moments and think about how you can be present with some of these new shopping paradigms, with the new search and video formats that we're offering. In the I want to go moments, if you have physical locations, brick and mortar stores, make sure that you are leveraging all of the tools that we have, because I guarantee you consumers are reaching into their pocket to find the next place to walk their feet to. And we have more in the coming weeks to talk about on the I want to buy side of the world, but for now, think hard about the friction that you maybe present in these mobile environments and what you can do to reduce friction at the point of purchase. Last but certainly not least, don't forget measurement, cross-device, estimated total conversions, and everything we're doing there to help all of you see the full value of mobile so you know how to properly attribute it so that your bids and budgets are reflecting the value you're getting from this entire ecosystem. I'd like to thank you all for your time today and your patience. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, guys.